All right, welcome back to the Tech Direct YouTube channel. This is the Sammy Go Blue Michigan Football Show, episode 3. Sammy, as we were just talking here before we hit record, we were talking some Michigan hoops. Loving where the Michigan basketball team is at right now. I think they're 7-1, 8-1, something like that. They just beat Wisconsin. Two wins in a row against ranked opponents. Obviously we talk football on this show, but I think we may have to continue this on every once in a while and talk some
Yes,
hoops with you as well.
sign me up.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
I got you.
All right. So obviously Michigan just less than a week ago, 6 days ago, huge victory over rival Ohio State. Ohio State came into the game ranked number 2. It was at Ohio State. Ohio State was some like I heard at kickoff the line maybe got to 26. I don't know if that's accurate, but it was around 20, 21. Um, they're a 21 point favorite, but yet the Wolverines prevailed. How? Well, let's rewind to before the game, Sammy Go Blue. How were you feeling going into that game?
Okay, so honestly, I'm being honest. I had two feelings going through the week of that game, leading up to that game. For some reason, and I got a witness. I have a witness.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I kept feeling like this was 1996. When we went in the shoe and we won 13-9. I think Ty Street scored it was the only touchdown. It was a long touchdown pass. But other than that, it was kind of like a similar game. But I had this feeling like I'm not lying, dude. I got to win. Like we were gonna win.
Yeah.
Um, that's my gut feeling. Um, I really thought going in right into halftime, it was over. When they marched up the field,
Yeah.
it was done.
Yeah. I
They,
thought I thought
I
we
thought,
blew our
okay,
opportunity.
we blew our opportunity. But I guess when I want to go back, the second feeling I had is, I mean, I can't lie. I didn't think Michigan was going to win.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, I had a gut feeling. But if I had $100 and I had to put it down,
Yeah.
I would have said I keep my $100 and run to Gun Lake.
Yeah.
Um, but I had a feeling all week like it was 1996. I had a feeling that feeling like I don't know. I think we can do this. I think we're gonna have an upset. Lo and behold, I did not know that, and lo and behold, I did not put no money on it. Although I do know one person that did.
That
He
actually
parlayed
bet.
it with he parlayed it with the Chicago Bears. Okay, $25.
Okay.
We had the Bears and Michigan winning. Well, we saw that debacle, and that his dream ended on Thanksgiving Day.
Yes.
But big payout.
Wow. So I actually texted to two group texts that I have predicting Michigan was going to win on a last second field goal 16-13.
I
Now
seen that.
they won on a last second field goal 13-10. Now I to be brutally honest, I appreciate your honesty. To be brutally honest, when I sent those texts, I was just joking. I really didn't think that was going to happen. I thought we were going to get destroyed.
It's on Ohio State, man.
Yep.
Ryan Day, it's all on them. I think Mark D'Antonio said it best: the pride before the fall,
Yeah.
and I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
And in our lives, dude, Curdy, we've learned that this Michigan Ohio State rivalry is in cycles.
Yeah.
Okay,
It is.
it's in cycles. Now the last cycle was Ohio State for about 17,
Yeah.
14, 15 in a row.
Yeah.
That was unheard of in our lifetime.
Well,
Uh,
didn't Michigan when John Cooper was the coach of the Buckeyes?
right. It was what we grew up with, what beating Ohio State every year, basically.
I
That's how
think
we grew up.
I think John Cooper was something like 2-10 against Michigan.
Yeah, he was 2-9-1.
Yeah, 291. And ultimately what cost him his job was the fact that he had no success against Michigan.
He had no success against Michigan, and then um, they went and got a general,
Yeah,
Jim Tressel.
yeah,
And I can still remember watching that speech. It was that speech at that basketball game when he guaranteed a victory.
yeah.
The next year, I bought season tickets, went to that game, and he did it. And he set the tone for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Uh, Jim Tressel, and and Jim Tressel was a winner. You know, he came from Youngstown State, winner. Um, but like I said, in our lifetime, all we've seen is cycles. Now that last cycle, the last run that Ohio State had, it didn't help that we went through three coaches.
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot of turnover throughout that last run Ohio State had. Um, so kudos, hats off to them. But it's turn now,
Yeah.
and guess what? Leaders and best,
Yep.
number one, baby. But for real, so you know that's the history of it. It and in our lifetime, it's been cycles. And um, does Ryan Day in a climate like we have to now where real money's involved, the players, does he survive this?
I don't know.
Unless he wins on a national championship, I don't see how you can keep him.
Well, here's the thing. Now, the Ohio State's roster, $20 million roster that
Right.
he's working with. Um, I think there's so much talent on that team all over the field. They were talking all summer long about how this might be the best Ohio State team ever. Um,
Right.
Obviously, their quarterback play was not that great all season long. Will Howard, in fact, he had two crucial interceptions in that game. Not Ryan Day's fault. Field
Not
goal
Ryan Day.
Field goal kicker missed two field goals, makeable field goals. Not Ryan Day's fault. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and I'd love your take on this. Outside of that, Ryan Day, outside of his four losses to Michigan, only has one other loss in the Big Ten, and that was this year to number one Oregon. Um, Seems like he wins 10 or 11 games every year. He does have big wins over Penn State. Obviously, Indiana, I don't know if you can call that a big win. I feel like they're just kind of a blip on the map. Easy schedule this year for them. But
Right.
so he does have big wins against other schools. He beat Notre Dame on the road last year. Success against Penn State. 10-ish wins every year.
Dang, 30, you trying to be like the president of his fan club or what?
Not at
Gee
all.
whiz.
Hey, I want
Gee
him. I want him to do his job because he can't beat us.
You
But
can't.
I'm just playing devil's advocate because everyone's
Right.
calling for his job. But what about all these things that I just mentioned?
I know. You're right. He can't control the kicker. He can't control um interceptions. But you do control the game plan for the game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and it was
You do have input on the game plan. And his game plan for this particular game, when every Ohio State alum, fan, folk team member would have put $1,000 on Ohio State to win.
yeah.
Um, you didn't produce, buddy. And in this day and age, that's a tough one because they are fanatical
Yeah.
in the state of Ohio. And they've got that taste of, all that success, and now it's flipped. And when you got a $10 million roster, that's going to be hard to
20
so
million.
$20 million risk. I'm thinking about Bryce Underwood. He's got me. All this money's got me thinking. You know what I'm saying? You got money now, real money that's
Yeah.
getting paid, and they want to see success. And um, you're right. The kicker isn't his fault. The interception is his fault. But in the end of the day, um, you cannot lose to Michigan like you did.
Real Estate Ryan has been in real estate for over 20 years and can help you with all your real estate needs. Realtor Ryan has helped me in my journey in learning about real estate, and he can do the same for you, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn more about real estate in general. Ring Realtor Ryan.
Well, and Chip Kelly, I'm assuming he's being the offensive coordinator. He probably calls the plays. I know that that's not always the case. A lot of times, offensive coordinators don't actually call the plays.
Mm.
But obviously, ultimately, the game plan came from Ryan Day, and they were trying to beat Michigan the way that Michigan plays, run, run, run. Mind-boggling to me because they had that last drive of the first drive of the game, ping, 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 go down,
Right.
and then the last drive of the half where they came back and got that touchdown, throwing the ball all over the place. Outside of those two drives, all they wanted to do was run the ball. It made no sense.
He tried to how should I say this? He tried to out Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and epic fail because that played right into our strength.
Yeah.
So you can't out Michigan. I didn't realize how banged up their lines were,
Okay.
and Ohio State's lines, and one thing we have been dominant is in the trenches.
Yeah.
One thing that it's a cultural thing now that Jim Harbaugh instilled is we're going to be tough in the trenches.
Yeah.
And that's what we're good at right now. That's where we're going to get a B+ to A+ grade.
Yeah.
In the trenches.
Yep. One last thing too. I know a lot of Ohio State fans were hoping and were hearing rumors about maybe if Ryan Day gets fired, Urban Meyer coming back. I did hear today that Urban Meyer has said no. Have you heard anything?
No, I read a headline like that Urban Meyer, Urban Meyer's was being thrown around, but I it's all speculation, hearsay. Not you're the first media outlet that said that they confirmed that he wasn't interested.
Yeah, I heard that today on the Colin Cowherd show that Urban
Gotcha.
Meyer's come out and said no. So
Well, do they have anybody? What's Truck Buckeye Trent think?
yeah, I don't know. He wants Ryan Day gone, but again, like we talk about all the time on the Attack the Rack podcast, you know, when we talk about coaches on the hot seat or coaches getting fired, like what's the better option? Like who else is out there that say what you want about Ryan Day, but who out there is a better option than Ryan Day? Who could you get? I don't know. I mean, you throw out like, Mike Vrabel, but it sounds like he doesn't really have an interest in coaching college. He wants an
No.
NFL job again.
Well, yeah, and basically, let me ask you this question: Who would want that? Who would want that burden?
Yeah, it's like I can win 10 games a year, consistently be in the top 5, consistently make the playoffs, but if I don't win this one game, you're going to fire me?
Right. Um, I just feel like this day and age, you're seeing coaches like retire off on a whim at the end of the season. I think I can't remember. I think I've read like 2 or 3 coaches just retire, mid-major level coaches. I mean, it's professionalism, not amateurism anymore.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, now basically to me, if you're the head coach of Ohio State, it's like almost like, okay, you might as well be the head coach of the New York Giants.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might as well be coaching in NFL.
Yeah.
Because now there's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. We're giving out a lot of kids are staying longer. So easy to jump in that portal. So I can understand if coaches, you start seeing coaches just resign and say, you know what, I made enough. I made a good living the last 15 years. I'm just gonna ride this out
Yeah,
because it's getting too crazy.
it is. I think a lot of them don't want to deal with the NIL and they don't want to deal with the portal.
No, and think if you're a good mat coach, you know that any good player's gone in a year
Yeah.
or maybe two at the most.
Yeah. And
You know,
at the major levels, at the power, well, what is it now? There's power four, I guess you could
yeah,
say now. If you recruit a stud player, but you don't want to use him yet his freshman year, you almost have to, or else he's going to be gone.
right.
Even
It's
if he's
it,
not
and
ready, you got to play him or he's
so
gone.
let me bring this up to you. And I don't know if you guys have covered this on the ATR uh, show, but I'm going to be right up honest with you. I'm not a big fan of paying $10.5 million for Bryce Underwood. Because to me, I mean, he's got to produce now because you're
Yeah,
not going to sit somebody on the bench that's making $10.5 million. And what does that say to your QB room?
yeah, exactly.
You know that every other QB knows right now that they're not playing.
Right.
They're
So
not.
they're,
They're
they're
not
gone.
starting.
Yeah,
They're gone.
yeah,
So, and in today's world, NFL or pro, you better be going due deep if you're trying to make a run.
yeah.
You better have a backup.
Yep.
So I I'm just real like I'm not gonna, like I said, San Diego Blues a little irritated with $10.5 million, but just the way it is, man.
Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Well, hey, let's wrap up here and let's talk about the season as a whole. Finished 7-5. Still don't know what bowl game we're going to, correct?
Yeah, still no bowl game.
Yeah.
Nothing's been announced. I'm not even hearing like I've been waiting to kind of like read where they may be going.
I
I
heard
hear
I heard possibly whatever used to be the Outback Bowl. I forget what they call it now, but possibly a Michigan Florida matchup in that bowl game down in Florida.
okay. I mean,
It seems like
is anybody
Florida's
gonna play? Is
becoming
anybody
our
gonna play?
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Who cares really? These bowl
Yeah.
games are an exhibition now.
Yep.
Anyone who's going to the NFL,
If you're not in that playoff, it's just okay. Extra practices and some live action at the end.
yeah, for guys that aren't I mean anybody going to the NFL is not going to play in that in the bowl game. I'm guessing. Uh,
Correct.
or anyone who even is borderline NFL is not going to play. Um, the last few years the bowl games have become very much insignificant, and that was a 14 playoff. Now with 12, it's going to be even more insignificant. So who cares really? But 8-5 sounds better than 7-6, so it'd be nice to get a win. It would be interesting if we do play Florida because it seems to be like that's become our bowl game rival now.
I mean, we played them quite a bit. I mean, we played them probably what 3 or 4 times in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to say.
Yeah.
It's a let's be honest, it's a win for the Outback Bowl. It's a home game for Florida, or they're going to bring a lot of fans. Michigan has a ton of alumni in Florida,
Yep.
so it's a win. They're trying to fill seats.
Yes. And then okay, so Michigan 7-5, I had to remind myself, like, they had one heck of a tough schedule if you think about it. They had to play Oregon and Texas, who both were or are ranked number one. They had to play Ohio State, who was ranked number two. They had to play Illinois, who was ranked when they played them. They had to play Indiana, who was undefeated when they played them and ranked in the top 10 when they played them, who's going to be a playoff team. So 5 games right there. Your 5 losses. No. You beat Ohio State. Your 5th loss was to Washington, who that was on the road. They were in the national championship game last year. But outside of Washington, your other 4 losses were to not just ranked teams. I mean, Illinois was ranked. The other 3, highly, highly ranked teams. So that was one heck of a tough schedule they had.
To be 7-5 and to be limping along with the quarterback the whole season. You get a big win against, two of your rivals.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the other thing. You beat rival Michigan State.
it's not a down year. I won't say this was a bad year. There's a lot of room for improvement. We did the best we could with no quarterback
Yeah,
play and
yeah,
no wide receiver play, and we got, like you cited, we had a gauntlet for a schedule. So 7-5. Um, I like to look at the glass half empty. So there was a couple potential. We probably should have beat Indiana.
yeah.
Illinois probably should have beat Illinois, but on the same token, we got the Minnesota game given to us.
Yes.
Almost, I would say given it to us, but we had things aligned for us.
USC
Uh,
game.
USC, we had things aligned for us. So the Washington game, instantly when we put Tuttle in, there was a change in this flow. We were competitive in that game. We had a chance in the game, and a raucous adverse environment. So a lot of bright spots. But most of the best thing that came out of the season was we solidified that culture of the trenches.
Yeah,
We still, because that's where I feel like you win those games. You win games on those lines. We still need to go and grab a receiver, and let's see if we got a $10 million quarterback.
yeah,
See what we got,
yep.
and hopefully we can develop him. I don't know, with the termination of Kurt Campbell, I don't know, who's going to fill that role. It'll be interesting to see who they interview. I haven't really heard no names. I try to investigate on that a little bit, research, but I haven't heard no names popping out. But there's some bright spots for the future.
Yeah.
Sure. Definitely,
Yep.
for sure. Great
Um,
recruiting class coming in.
Yeah. All right, Sammy Go Blue. Well, appreciate you joining us again.
Hey,
Uh,
no problem.
love talking Michigan football with you. Let's try to do this a couple times, talking Michigan hoops. Uh,
Definitely.
loving where Michigan basketball is. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I'm pleasantly surprised because it looks like we have a team and we
Yeah.
have a bench.
Yes.
So, and that's good when you can basically go, 3, 4, 5 people off your bench and, get production.
Yep. Yep.
But once again, Curdy, I'm gonna give you guys a salute over there. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you letting me talk about one of the passions of my life. I look forward to talking more in the future,
Yes.
and definitely want to give you guys some insight on Michigan basketball.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
look, I've been to Wake, I've been to TCU, and I'm looking at probably either going to a Big Ten game. I'm thinking Washington, and then to January.
Okay. Nice.
So, all right, take
All right.
care, guys.
Yep.
God bless.
Sounds good.
Keep doing you guys. All right,
Yes.
go blue.
Go Blue.
Later.